to my YouTube channel. Recently, I have gotten into the collecting craze of the late 90s, which is collecting Princess Diana dolls. Now, I have always been a big fan of Princess Diana. I was 14 when she passed away, and at that time was when there were a lot of dolls and things coming out after her death. But a lot of them had been planned prior to her death. But anyway, I had always wanted to buy some and I never did. And recently, I actually started looking at them. You may have seen the episode I did a couple episodes back about the Franklin Mint Portrait Diana doll. Well, that just opened the gates for me. And I have been buying a lot of Princess Diana dolls because they're very easy to find on the secondary market and they aren't too expensive. So with that being said, I thought it would be fun to rank them all because some of them are really good, some of them are really bad, and some of them are really ugly. So my ranking system is going to be out of 10. I'm going to rank them based on their face, I'm going to rank them based on their outfit, and I'm going to rank them based on their accessories. So each one is worth 10 points, and then I'm going to average them together to get a final ranking. So I'm hoping you guys are going to have as much fun with this as I have making it, as I have been ranking them and making this video. So let's jump right into the first one. The first doll we're going to start with is the one you've already seen here on my channel, which is the Franklin Mint Portrait doll of Diana. And this is the first Diana porcelain doll that they did in, I think she came out in 1998. And here's how I ranked this girl. I gave her an 8 on her face. So her face is really pretty, but there is a little bit of, you know, it's definitely a good face, and you'll see that as we get to some of the other dolls, but there's some that are a little bit better. So I gave her an 8 on her face. For her outfit, this is the Elvis dress, and I love this outfit so much. I gave it a 10 because the Franklin Mint went to the auction at Christie's. They bought the actual dress, and if you watch my other video, you know I had the pleasure to speak with a man who was on the design team for the Diana line at Franklin Mint, and they got to handle the dress and make the actual dress from the real actual dress. So make the doll's dress from the actual dress that they purchased at auction. And so for me, that's a 10 out of 10. And you're going to see that theme as we talk about the Franklin Mint dolls because they're always like spot on. For the accessories of this doll, I'm going to give it a 9. We got the tiara and it looks really good. It's a really good replica of the tiara. Her earrings are really gorgeous. She's got those pearl drop earrings that are so pretty. She came with the clutch that she was seen carrying on an occasion in the Elvis dress, this kind of taupe clutch. The clutch doesn't open, unfortunately. I kind of wish it did, but it doesn't open. And she also came with a white rose, and I'm guessing this just symbolizes her as, you know, the English rose. So that is the first doll. So again, my ranking was a 8 on the face, 10 on the outfit, 9 on the accessories. That averages out to a 9. So she comes in high with our first one with a ranking of 9. Number 2 on my list is the Ashton Drake Diana Bride doll. Now, this doll came out in 85, 86, so mid to late 80s. And a couple things about this doll. So first of all, her face is definitely a 5. Now, 5 you may think is kind of high for this list. And it might be, because if you look at her face, like if you saw this doll's face somewhere, you would not recognize that this is Princess Diana. It's a pretty doll's face. It's not like an horribly ugly doll face, but to me it is not Diana. Like the sculpt of this face is not great. So I'm only going to give her a 5, and I'm giving her a 5 as high as a 5 because the face is not just ugly, and you'll see what I mean about that later. For her dress, I do give her a 10. This is a really good rendition of Diana's wedding dress. It is the same color, at least as far as I can tell from TV. It's got a lot of the same embellishments, the same shape, the same pattern. And so I think it deserves a 10. Also, Diana's dress had a 25-foot train, and this dress has a 5-foot train, and I'm going to show you. I know it's 5 feet because I'm 5 feet, and this is the train touching the floor, and you can see it is the same height as me. So they really did the train justice as well, because that was a big deal at the time. Like, this was the longest train on a wedding dress, a royal wedding dress ever. For the accessories, she has the tiara, which also looks, I think it's a pretty good rendition here. I think it looks really good. She's got a set of earrings here. And this doll I just recently got from Goodwill and haven't had a chance to super clean her up yet, so please excuse her if she's a little dirty. And then she has the bouquet that she came with. Is actually a really good rendition of the bouquet that Diana had. So I give her accessories a 10 as well, because I feel like they did a great job with the accessories for this doll. So overall we got a 5 for face, 10 for dress, 10 for accessories. That comes out to an 8.3 for this doll, which is pretty high considering her face looks nothing like Diana. But that is, again, that's why I had to count 3 different categories for this ranking, because I think that the outfits are very important. One of the legacies that Diana has left behind for those of us is her fashion sense. And so her fashion is such an important part of history, of pop culture, of everything. That's why I was a big Diana fan growing up, is because I would always read the magazines and I would be looking at what she was wearing. I love seeing all the clothes that she was wearing and things like that. So anyway, we got to rank the dresses. So 8.3, which even surprises me that this doll would rank that high, but the dress and accessories I think are really good for this doll, even though the face leaves a lot to be desired. Number 3 on my list is the Franklin Mint Vinyl Portrait Diana doll. Now, spoiler alert, this is my favorite Diana doll that I have. Probably because she's vinyl, and this is the one that I really saw in the magazines and stuff, and I really wanted this doll. So let's talk about her face first. I rank her face a 9. I think it's a really excellent sculpt of her face. I think she has a beautiful face. The only reason I don't give her a 10 is because I've seen some of the porcelain dolls that I feel like have a better paint job. The painting looks better, the eyes look better, but she's got a really fantastic face, this doll does. And that's why she ends up being my favorite, not only because of that, because of the vinyl and all the outfits that she has. But let's talk about the outfit that she's wearing. This is the blue Chanel suit. She was seen in this look at the British Lung Foundation event where they named a rose after her. And this is a bouquet of those roses. She was given a bouquet of roses, and the center of the rose, you can see, is like a darker color than the petals of the rose. And so that was one of the interesting things to me. Like, they really recreated this look from that event. The earrings are the same earrings that she wore. So I'm giving her accessories, you guys, a 10 out of 10 for this. And she carried the same tan handbag as well and wore a pair of tan shoes. The Chanel suit is like spot on, even along the edges of the suit. It has the same little detailing that the actual Chanel suit has. So I'm also giving that a 10. So she's got a 9 for the face. She's got a 10 for the outfit. She's got a 10 for the accessories. This doll comes in at a 9.7. Like, this doll, this is my favorite doll. So of course, maybe I'm a little bit biased, but really the Franklin Mint with the outfits for all of the dolls, they did an outstanding job, and I just really love this vinyl doll. I have a lot of the vinyl doll outfits, and one day I'll show those to you guys, but I just really think they did such an incredible job with her. Number 4 on our list is this monstrosity of a doll. Now, this is the Diana made by the Society for the Preservation of History, or the Historical Society of the I can't remember the whole name. This doll's face reminds me of Hide the Pain Harold from the memes. That is what this face looks like. However, I'm going to give this face a 4, because I do think if you saw this face, you would recognize they're trying to do Diana with that face. So it's at least somewhat recognizable as Diana. It is absolutely horrifying. She is grimacing so bad in this sculpt. It's just awful. So really, I mean, a 4 is being very generous. For the dress, I'm going to give the dress a 3. Now, I'm giving it a 3 because it seems to be fairly well made. Like, it's not too bad of a dress. She never wore anything like this. This is not a Diana dress. This is not a fashion that she was not. Like, why did they decide to do this? I have no idea. I don't know why they did this, why they would have gone with something like this that's super sparkly and really doesn't make any sense. But they did, but I still gave it a 3 because I do think the dress is pretty. It's just not like a Diana doll dress. For the accessories, I'm giving them a 2 because these accessories are awful. This crown, this tiara is horrendous. It is, I don't know what way you're supposed to wear it. Is it supposed to be like this? Is it supposed to be like this? Like, it just looks horrible. And then she's got like a cheap strand of pearls. The earrings are okay. They're like okay, some pearl drop earrings there. And then she just got like a cheap bouquet of roses. But this doll, this doll is one of the uglies. Like, I just feel like she is, you know, and I'm collecting a lot of them because I like that there's so much variety in these dolls, and I think it's fun to collect some of the horrible ones. I feel like she's one of the horrible ones. So coming in at a 4, a 3, and a 2, she averages out at a 3 in the ranking. She is definitely not one of my favorites. I could part with her without too much heartache, but you know, that face, man, she's just like, she just looks so miserable, doesn't she? And I know in real life that she was miserable a lot of the time, unfortunately, but whew, this doll is horrible. Number 5 is the Franklin Mint Princess of Style. Now, I really like this doll a lot. When we look at her face, I'm going to give her face a 7.5. I think it's a good face. I think it's a little, it's not as nice as some of the other Franklin Mint faces, in my opinion. Now, this, of course, is open to your own interpretation and how you feel, but I do think she's very pretty. I also really like the sculpt of this doll's shoulders and arms. Like, that's not part of the face, but, you know, just to talk about that here, I think she's really a gorgeous, gorgeous doll. For her dress, I'm going to give her a 10. Once again, Franklin Mint really does it with the dress, and if you look at an up-close picture of Diana from this event, she wore this to a fashion show or fashion awards event here in the States. This is really what this looked like. I mean, from the front, Franklin Mint really, really did it. And in the back, the straps even separate like they did on her actual dress. If you see a picture of her from the back, these are all separate straps on her, and I think they just did such an outstanding job with the design of this dress, the design of the porcelain, to really capture this look for Diana. So I'm giving the dress a 10. For the accessories, I'm giving them a 7. I think they look really, really good. There's this gorgeous sapphire and diamond bracelet. She's got the clutch here that she carried. She's got her pearl and sapphire choker. The only thing I don't love, oh, it just came apart. The only thing I don't love is that sapphire in the middle really doesn't have any blue. I know sapphires look really dark under certain lights, but this one doesn't have like any kind of blue sheen at all to it. And maybe mine's just old and dirty. I got this one at Goodwill as well. But I kind of docked a few points for that. But her earrings, she's got her sapphire earrings. I think they look really good. Overall, I think this doll is a really nice one with a 7.5, 10, and a 7. She comes in at an 8.2 overall ranking. Again, Franklin Mint is going to be the clear winner of the Diana dolls because their design team just did a fantastic job with them. I really like her, so she is pretty high up on the list. Number 6 on the list is this Goldberger doll. Now, look at this doll's face. She looks like, it looks to me like they reused a mold from like a Wicked Witch doll. This face is not Diana. It is horrifyingly bad. It is really like classic Wicked Witch face. She has the ugliest face, not the ugliest, but like the second ugliest face. I'm giving her a 1. She gets a 1 because she has a face that has 2 eyes, a nose, and a mouth, but that's the only reason she even gets a 1. She is so bad. For her accessories, her crown and her bouquet, I give her a 4. I give her a 4 because she has the accessories and they're kind of okay, but you know, they're not really, they're pretty bad actually. But 4 is being very generous. This doll's face is so ugly, y'all. When I look at her, it's just like, I mean, look at her profile. She's not even remotely close. I don't know what they were thinking with this doll. She is so bad, so bad. The dress I'm going to give a 4 to, because you see the long train, you see the color of the dress, you see the kind of style of the dress, and I think you can recognize this is Princess Diana in her wedding dress. Not from the face. You would never, if you were at a flea market and you found this doll nude, you would never know that was Princess Diana unless you just knew. But if she was in her dress with her stuff, you would recognize, hey, that's Princess Diana from her wedding day. So I give the dress a 4 because that is what the recognizable thing for this doll is, and that's what makes her recognizable as Diana. So with a 1, a 4, and a 4, this doll averages out at a 3, which is probably too generous for this doll because it's really awful, but it's funny. It's funny awful. It's funny sad too, but it's just, oh gosh. They did Diana dirty with this one. They really did. Number 7 on my list is the Franklin Mint Princess of Charm. Now this depicts Diana in a Catherine Walker dress that she wore at Balmoral, and I love this doll so much. For her face, I'm going to give her face a 9. And I'm not giving it a 10 because it's actually not my favorite of the Franklin Mint faces. It's a lot of people's favorite. It doesn't happen to be mine. But I do think her face looks really, really good. So I'm giving it a 9. Her dress, I'm giving a 10. Once again, the Franklin Mint, they really, really outdid themselves with the design of the dress. It looks, when I look at this dress and I look at photos of Diana in this dress, to me, it looks like spot on. Like, it's just so good. Now, mine is wrinkled because I got this from Goodwill and I washed it and I haven't taken the time to iron the skirt out yet. But you know, normally this wouldn't be wrinkled like this. It's taffeta. I just need to iron it. For her accessories, I'm giving her accessories an 8. She's got her ruby and diamond earrings with the pearl drops in this on this doll, and she also comes with a bouquet of purple flowers. What's always interesting to me, and maybe this is just a tradition, I don't know, is that kids are always, there's always video of Diana getting flowers from, a lot of times from kids, but also from adults, but she's always being given flowers. She's also wearing her engagement ring because at this point in this outfit, she is still married. So she's got that as an accessory as well, and I think it looks really good. So overall, we've got a 9 for the face, we've got a 10 for the dress, we've got an 8 for the accessories, so she comes in at a 9. Number 8 on my list is this Peggy Nisbet, House of Nisbet Princess Diana doll. And this doll is 100% made in England. I read somewhere, and I cannot remember for the life of me where I read, but I read if they have a red tag, then it was actually made by Peggy Nisbet, and if they had a black tag, they were made in another facility. So of course I looked for one with the red tag, but you can see that. I think it's pretty cool. Now let's talk about her ranking. Her face. I give her a 6. I don't love this face, but I don't hate it either. It's like, it's clearly Diana. I feel like if you saw this, you would know it was her. But I don't love it just because it's kind of, you know, it's just kind of, and it's a small doll, so it's probably hard to get a lot of detail into something like that, but I give it a 6. For the dress, I'm also going to give it a 6 because it is clearly recognizable as her wedding dress. Again, we've got the long train. That is the theme with the dresses, with the wedding dolls for the Princess Diana. So I give her a 6 on the dress as well because it is recognizable again. Now for the accessories, I'm also going to go with a 6 on those. So this doll is a solid 6. She's got, now she doesn't have a real tiara. They've done this thing with these, I don't even know what you would call these. They're just rhinestones. But again, this doll's very small, and she's got her bouquet. So she's got all the elements. They're just not, you know, exact replicas or even close replicas. They're just like passable replicas, so that's why I give them a 6. But I think it's cool. I also ranked her probably a little higher than maybe she deserved because she was made totally in England, and I feel like that brings her closer to, like, I don't know, to Diana herself. So maybe I went a little easy on this doll, but I think they're really cool, and I think there's a cool history about the House of Nisbet dolls, and I actually have another one on the way. I found one on Facebook Marketplace for $18 for a taller one, so she's on the way because I can't stop buying Princess Diana dolls. because they're so inexpensive, and it's like I just love looking at them and comparing, like what I'm doing now. I like comparing the faces, comparing the accessories, comparing the outfits. But anyway, so she's a solid 6, made in England, and you know, I'm glad I have her as part of my collection. She's not one, I don't find her like terribly ugly, but I don't find her terribly pretty either. She's just kind of somewhere middle of the road. Next on the list is the Franklin Mint Queen of Fashion doll. Now this is one of the dresses that was sold at the Christie's auction, but there are no photographs of Diana actually in this dress. So I thought it was interesting that they chose this dress to make for one of the dolls, but it is a pretty cool dress. It is a Katherine Walker dress with falcons on it. So I think it's, you know, Katherine Walker was one of her favorite designers. A lot of these gowns that we've seen here are designed by Katherine Walker. But let's talk about the ranking. So for the face of this doll, this is my least favorite face of all the Franklin Mint dolls I have. I give it a 7. I think the face just looks tense and terse and just pulled. I don't really like it that much. I don't feel like it's, you know, I don't like the expression. You know, she's smiling, but I don't know, something about it feels strained to me, just the way that her face looks. So she gets a 7. For her accessories, I'm going to give her an 8. She's got her earrings. She's got some earrings on that are really pretty. She is wearing her ring because supposedly she wore this dress when she was still married, and she also has a gold clutch. And again, since there's no pictures of her wearing this dress, I think a lot of this is just, you know, they decided to go with something just to have the accessories on her. The dress I'm going to give a 10 again because Franklin Mint, I mean, they really did it. It would be very easy for the Franklin Mint to have made this dress and then left it plain on the back, but they didn't. They put the falcons all the way across the back like they were on the front. And they did the little fish tail out here, or the mermaid tail, I don't know what it's called. But I really feel like they did this dress justice. So once again, I'm giving them a 10 for the dress. So we've got a 7 on the face, we've got an 8 on the accessories, a 10 for the dress. That brings her in at an 8.3. So of all the Franklin Mint dolls that I have, again, her face is my least favorite, thereby making her actually my least favorite of the Franklin Mint dolls, but I still really like her. So being the least favorite of the Franklin Mint dolls is really not a bad thing because all those dolls are really beautiful. We just sat down to do this and my cameraman says, "Oh, I thought we were doing Princess Diana dolls." So that's why I'm laughing. This is the Ashton Drake Princess of Wales doll, and this doll's face, y'all, oh my gosh, she gets a 5, and I'm giving her a 5 because she is at least recognizable as Princess Diana, but Ashton Drake did some pretty shady stuff here. When they put the ad out for this doll, they did some really clever photoshopping, if photoshopping was a thing then, and the face of the doll looked amazing, and then this thing came out, and y'all, she looks awful. She looks so bad. It is, again, it's recognizable as Diana. This was sculpted by Titus Temescu, and I don't know if it's the sculpt that's bad or if it's the paint job that's bad. I don't think it's the sculpt that's bad. I think it's more the paint job. Like, they didn't do a good job with shading and painting and whatnot. It's just horrible. And they really, like I said, they did the consumers dirty with this one because they did Diana dirty, they did the consumers dirty because the ad looked great, and then this is what shipped to people. So she gets a 5 there. For her dress, I'm going to give her a 9 though. This is the Travolta dress made by Victor Edelstein, and I think it is a beautiful dress. I think they did a really good rendition of this dress. I actually took this dress off and washed it because I got her secondhand, and she was a little dirty. That's kind of the theme with these dolls. They're all secondhand. Very few of them were like in pristine condition when I got them. So I really do like the dress. I think it's a good representation of that dress. I think it's very well made. It's got hidden zippers in it. It's a really good quality dress. For her accessories, I'm going to give her a 6 because the accessories she has are like, they're too blue. They're like a really, really bright, in-your-face blue. and that looks kind of cheap to me. Like it should be more of a royal deep navy sort of blue and not this bright like cobalt blue color, which they are. But you know, they're not horrible accessories. They're just not, in my opinion, like the best. So anyway, that face though, with the face of 5, the accessories of 6, and the dress of 9, she comes in at a 6.7. I do like this doll. Like, I mean, I like all the dolls that I have for one reason or another, but I don't find her to be, I don't know, it's just something about, and Ashton Drake did an entire line of these dolls, and in my opinion, from the pictures I've seen, I don't have more of these. The faces got better in the other releases, but this was the first one, and she just looks, she always has like a clown face, like she looks like a clown a little bit, just like too much going on here. So 6.7 for the Princess of Wales. Number 11 on my list is the Franklin Mint Celebration of Glamour doll, and I really love this doll. She's got a lot of skin showing, so this is a very porcelain heavy doll. Unfortunately, I actually dropped her and broke her arm off. You can see where I did the repair there. If I hadn't pointed it out to you, you might not have noticed it, so maybe I shouldn't have done that. But anyway, let's rank her. Let's look at her face. For her face, I gave her an 8. Again, very good faces with the Franklin Mint dolls, and just comparing her to other ones, I put her around an 8. I think she looks good. I think the paint job is pretty good on this one. For her dress, once again, Franklin Mint, I give it a 10. Now, this is one of my favorite dresses that Diana ever wore. Like, this is one of my favorite looks of her. It's a Catherine Walker dress. She wore this to the Swan Lake ballet, and I just think it's so gorgeous. I always wanted a dress like this. When I saw her in this dress, I always wanted like a dress like this to wear somewhere. Never got one, but I always wanted one. I just think it's such a gorgeous piece. For accessories, I'm also giving those a 10. Check out her earrings. She's got her crescent moon earrings on, which are really super pretty. She's got this beautiful necklace on that's really, really gorgeous. And she's also got a clutch here. Is it still there? Yep, in her hands. That's one of the things I really like about the Franklin Mint dolls, is they designed the porcelain hands to be able to hold the clutches, which is really nice for display purposes. But I think she's gorgeous. She's even got like the sling back heels on that are molded onto her feet in porcelain. I just love this doll so much. So with a 10, 10, and an 8, she comes in at a 9.3. Definitely one of my favorite dolls. I was sick that I broke her. And she was limited to 2,000, so she's one of the more limited of the Franklin Mint dolls. I mean, 2,000 is still not very limited, but when you know, all things considered, but one of the more limited of those dolls. So it was really when I broke her. But 9.3, really one of the best dolls I feel like that I have in my collection. Next up is the Manorville Princess Diana. How these companies weren't ashamed to put these dolls out and call them Princess Diana, I don't know. These were shameless money grabs. This doll came out in '98, and they were trying to capitalize on the people's grief. And they made this doll, and yeah, she's just, you see here what this is. I'm giving her face a 2, and I'm giving her a face a 2 because she's not the ugliest Diana doll in my collection, but you would not see that face and say, hey, that's a Princess Diana doll. You'd see that face and say, hey, that's a Walda doll. And if you don't know what a Walda doll is, stay tuned, I'll tell you one of these days. But, you know, look at her crown too. For her accessories, I'm giving her accessories a 1. That crown is so ugly. What the heck is that even? Like, did they have leftover pieces from something else and they're like, hey, let's just let's make this a Princess Diana crown to go with our Princess Diana doll. Now, for the dress, I'm going to give the dress a little bit of a higher ranking. I'm going to give the dress a 4, and the reason I do that is because I do think I recognize what they're trying to do here. I think this is the Victor Edelstein dress that she wore to France and that they sold at the auction. I think that's what they're trying to achieve here, because you've got the bolero here and you've got the, you know, the gold embroidery in the dress. So I gave it a 4, which was very generous, but only because I think I could recognize what it was. So all put together, could you recognize that this is a Princess Diana doll? I think that you could, but with a 2 for the face, a 1 for the accessories, and a 4 for the dress, this doll comes in at a 2.3. She is one of the worst Diana dolls in my collection from Manorville. Again, how they even had the face to like put this out here and say this is Princess Diana, I don't know, but they did. And here she is. I have one in my collection. Next up, lucky number 13 on the list is the Gadco, Great American Doll Company, and Diana doll. Now, this doll is very interesting. Lots of interesting things going on here. First of all, her face looks like Courtney Love. So, you know, I'm actually going to have mine repainted by a repainting artist. I've got that lined up. I will show her to you when I get her back. The sculpt is not bad. Like when you look at her in profile, the chin might be a little on the big side, but the sculpt is not too bad. But the paint job that they did with this doll is really awful. And so I've seen some repainted ones. They look pretty good. I'm going to give her a 6 because she is kind of recognizable as Diana if you don't mistake her for Courtney Love at first. But I think the base is good. It's the painting that's not so great. So 6 for the face. Now for the gown, I'm going to give her a 10. And this gown, y'all, is amazing. This is a Catherine Walker gown. Again, and this gown Diana actually had sleeves at one point, and she had it altered and changed, and it's like this beautiful light blue lace gown. Well, the Gadco company, they went to the Christie's auction. So Franklin Mint wasn't the only doll company that went to this auction to buy a dress with the intent of making a doll. They went to this auction and they bought this dress so they could recreate it as a doll, and that's what they did. And the dress is really, really good. It's a really beautiful representation of the dress. Now they did something a little weird. I'm going to show this to you guys. Every dress has a real royal relic sewn into it. Now this is a piece of a sheet from King Edward VIII, who abdicated to Mary Wallace Simpson. So how that's really related to Diana, I mean, it doesn't make a lot of sense for me for that to be on there, but it is kind of cool. Like, it's a gimmick, you know, you're like looking at it like, okay, there's a real royal relic, something that really belonged to a member of the royal family is sewn into this dress, and there it is. So that's interesting, I guess. But the dress overall is really gorgeous. It's a beautiful dress. I give it a 10 out of 10. I think it's great. As for the accessories, same thing. I'm going to give them a 10 out of 10. I think the accessories look really good. I think they did a great job with these earrings. Let me turn them so you can see. They've got the sapphire drops on them. I think they're really, really beautiful. I think they did a great job with that. I think the bracelet that she's wearing is really pretty and delicate, and it's actually like a really gorgeous piece of jewelry there. So I really like that, what they did with the accessories here. And I also like her clutch. She's got a really sparkly beaded clutch. Now, Diana always had a clutch because she wanted to make sure if she was stepping out of cars or whatnot, she had something to cover her cleavage, because there were paparazzi everywhere all the time trying to go at her from every angle. So anyway, with a 6 for the face, a 10 for the gown, and a 10 for the accessories, she comes in at an 8.7 on the scale. So if it weren't for that really awful face that is not, she would be higher. But the dress and the accessories of this doll really saved the day for her ranking. They really did her justice as far as that goes. Really great. And I just think it's such a cool legacy for the doll that they went to the auction, they bought the dress, and they used that to create the doll's dress. So I do like that. 8.7. I'll show her to you guys once I have her repainted. I think you're going to like her a lot better. Number 14 on the list is the F&B Princess Diana doll. Now, this came out in the early 80s, and she's pretty awful. She looks like that gif of the monkey. It's like looking to the side. Like, she looks so unsure. And girl, you should be unsure because things are about to get nasty for you. But that face, like, what? It's so awful. Anyway, she's a vinyl doll, so I do like that she's vinyl, and she's by F&B, which is like, you know, a classic powerhouse of American doll manufacturer, but I give the face a 3. All right, the dress, I'm going to give the dress a 5 because it is recognizable as her wedding gown. There's not a lot of detail on it, and kind of around the hem, it gets a little sloppy in my opinion. I don't love what they did with it, but It is recognizable as her dress. They did do like a long train, but the train is completely unembellished. It's just like, it's like a pillow slip. Like they sewed a pillow slip to the end of her dress. So again, recognizable, but not great. I give it a 5. For her accessories, I'm going to give them a 4. And the reason I'm going to give them a 4, she's got a bouquet, which is fine. But the tiara is, okay, mine is come unglued, but they've done like just this strap of beading, which it does the job. You can tell what it is, but I just don't love that. Like it's not, I feel like they could have done a better job with doing that. So, you know, she's just overall, she's not great. She's not great, but she is a lot of fun. So with a 3 for the face, a 5 for the dress, and a 4 for the accessories, she comes in at a solid 4. So she's getting, she's on the low end, and mainly, I mean, look at that face. Look at the profile of the face. I like looking at the profiles of the faces because it just shows how much different the different sculpts are. And the fact that they have her, I mean, she really just looks like so like side-eye unsure. Like this is not a good look for a Princess Diana doll. Anyway, she is a 4. Number 14 is a 4. Number 15 on my list is the Franklin Mint Princess of Elegance doll. I love this doll so much. I love what they did with the porcelain here. This dress is the one that she wore to the Cannes Film Festival, and I just find it absolutely gorgeous. Now, I'm going to look at her face. I want you guys to see her face, and I'm going to tell you that I give this face a 10. I think, in my opinion, my humble opinion over here at MPD, this face is the best face of all the Diana dolls I have. I love it so much. I think it looks like her. I feel like it captures her warmth and her feeling and her kindness and a little bit of her shyness as well. Check it out in profile. I just think it's so gorgeous. I love this face so much. Now, so again, face, give her a 10. Dress, I'm going to give it a 10. Franklin Mint, again, coming through with these dresses. Like, these dresses are so wonderful. They're such high quality, like, such gorgeous dresses. And I love this dress anyway. So, you know, I'm probably a little biased, but this is what what I always imagine as a princess, this is the kind of thing that you would wear. Just, she's so gorgeous in this dress. All eyes were on her at the film festival that year. You know, she steps out of the car and she's wearing this gown, and it's just, everybody's drawn to her because she's just so gorgeous, and she just paints this picture of grace and loveliness in this dress. For accessories, I'm going to give them a 10. Her earrings are gorgeous. I love what they've done there with her sapphire earrings. She's got her ring on because at this time she was still with Charles. And then also her bracelet is very delicate and pretty. They gave her a clutch. I cannot find any pictures of her at the film festival with a clutch, so I thought about dinging them some points for that, but they probably just want to throw a little extra in for the collector, so I didn't ding them. 10. So she's a 10, 10, 10. This is a 10 out of 10, honey. I love this doll. I think she is beautiful. That is my opinion. Like, if you want to get a porcelain Princess Diana doll, my vote would either be to go with this doll or go with the portrait doll, because this doll I actually like better than the portrait doll in the Elvis dress. This is my favorite doll from the whole series. I just love her face. I love the dress, the jewelry, everything. Total babe, total 10 out of 10 knockout. You can see here that I have saved the best for last, because what in the Gary Busey is this doll? This is the ugliest, worst Princess Diana doll I have ever seen ever. As I was starting to look at these dolls, and there's people that have these listed for sale for like $50. I don't know what they're thinking. Like, $50 for this? Are you kidding? Look at the hair. The hair is awful. Like, what is this? The face is awful. I want you guys to see this face in profile. I'm just going to show it to you. Like, it's horrible, y'all. Everything about this doll is absolutely horrific. Now, this is supposed to be the wedding dress. I don't recall her having a fur stole for her wedding dress. I don't recall that at all. And then this is just, I mean, nothing about this says Diana. They put a cheap plastic tiara on her head, which doesn't look like anything she ever wore. This doll looks like they had leftover Gary Busey heads, and they're like, let's slap some paint on them and call it Princess Diana and go for a cash grab, because that's what this was. This was just some no-name company that put this doll out here, and she's absolutely horrific. So of course I had to have one, because there's nothing like having a really, really horrible doll in your collection to appreciate the really nice ones. But y'all, this doll, every time I look at her, I laugh because she's so bad. She's so bad. So I give her a 0 for her face, I give her a 0 for the dress, and I give her a 0 for her accessories, because not one shred of it is recognizable as Princess Diana. This doll comes in at a 0. She is the worst of the worst, the ugliest of all the Princess Diana dolls. So of course I had to add her to my collection. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed that ranking of my Princess Diana dolls. I have more on the way because I'm, a little bit obsessed, just a little bit. I would love to know in the comments below which of the dolls you would rank the highest and which of the dolls you would rank the lowest, because I'm just curious to know what you guys think about them. If you have any Princess Diana dolls, let me know which ones you have in the comments below as well. And if you want to see further videos about more of the Princess Diana dolls I get in, let me know that too. That's a lot of asks for you guys to let me know in the comments. But if you enjoyed this video, please make sure you're subscribed and give it a thumbs up, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye. I want to say a huge thank you to my patrons from Patreon: Lindsay S., Leah W., Doreen Z., Janice H., Mercedes W., Cindy K., Bear Sunflower, Diane B., Kelly L., Cindy L., Susie W., Krista R., Victory Run, Shorna R., Shower Star Hobby, Stephanie W., Jessica S., Ray M., Asia C., and Black Y. Thank you so much for your support. Your support helps me continue to bring you great dolly content. For information on how you can become a supporter of this channel, please check the link in the video description. Thank you for watching.
We have been able to have this affair with Princess Diane here on her first trip to the United States, that we should be able to share in that first trip.